a razor view engine, because here we are just going to use a razor syntax for creating the our web pages. So razor is a markup syntax to create the dynamic web pages, and it is introduced with ASP.NET MVC 3, and we are learning here ASP.NET Core 2.1, that is next to the MVC 5, or you can say the MVC 6, and it is embedded with the .NET languages C Sharp and the VB. But here we are using the only C Sharp language. Its syntaxes are very easy as compared to the web forms. So this is the syntax comparison here. Let's say in web form you want to mention the current date and time. So we write there open tag, percentile sign, then equal to date time dot now, then closing tag before after the percentile sign. But in Razor you have to write only at the rate, then date time dot now. So you can see the syntax wise it is pretty much easier as compared to the web form. We have more differences as well, like Razor follow the simple and clean syntax, but here the web form follow the XML based syntax. And if you will see in Razor we have only two file extension .cshtml for the C sharp, .vbhtml for the vb.net. With ASP.NET Core, the people are using only Razor. It is not mandatory to use the Razor, you can use others as well. I don't think the people are using any other view engine apart from the Razor. In MVC 5 also we have the option for using the other view engine, but rarely people use, because in Razor we have almost same things which are required for developing a dynamic web application. So there is no need to use any other. It is not just like Node.js, because Node.js is a complete open source. ASP.NET Core is also open source, but the people have not developed any view engine for the uh, you know ASP.NET Core. People are fine with the Razor view engine. And here in the Razor, it is by default preventing the cross-site scripting attack as well, but web form does not prevent. So example for cross-site scripting attack is, let's say use a text box for storing the comment, and in the comment text box, let's say you have mentioned the script tag with the the alert box. And that information is going to be stored as it is in your database. When it is going to be rendered through the Razor view engine, it it would be visible as a simple text, but in web form it is going to be executed. The same thing in web form you want to implement, you have to use their sanitizer library. So we have the sanitizer library in the web form which we can use, but in Razor at a level other things are managed. You don't need to worry about those. In the Razor we don't have the design mode. So what the markup you are writing in the code window, we cannot see the expected design. The design you can see after running it through the browser. But in web form, we have the code window, we have the design window. So what we write in the code window, we can see the expected design in the design mode. And Razor also support the test-driven element as well if you want to follow, but web form does not. So these are the differences between the Razor and the web forms here. We are learning only here Razor, we are not learning here web form, because web form we left here before. Actually, if we're talking about the TDD, so TDD is a software development technique. So in this technique, after the requirement gathering and analysis phase, we directly write the unit test cases. So when you write the unit test case without writing the code, obviously it will be failed. That then that failed unit test case you have to make pass by writing the sufficient code. Then after writing the code, we refactor it. So if you are following this approach, that is the test-driven development approach. If design is given by the designer, you can use easily with ASP.NET Core, because in ASP.NET Core we have the tag helper. In the tag helper, you have to just mention there our property name using the ASP-4. You don't need to do so much change as we do in ASP.NET MVC5 for our HTML form designing. ASP.NET Core is very easier, or you can say it is very easier to integrate the design provided by the designer, like mock-up screen provided by the designer. In web form, it was difficult. In MVC5, they simplified, but in ASP.NET Core, it is much easier. And this is the razor syntax here. Like, let's say if you want to define a single statement, so we can define like this way. And guys, here this complete code you have to write on the CSHTML file. So whatever the CSHTML file you are creating in your project, so there you have to write this code. And if you want to access anywhere within your HTML tag, your C# variable, or like your C# code, you have to always start from @ symbol. So you can see here message I'm accessing, and that message is going to start from @. And here I'm just going to access the multi-statement block. So those also we have accessed by wrapping the code within the curly braces. So this is the razor syntax. And same if you want to use here if statement. So in if statement, if you want to use paragraph, I can use paragraph, I can use div, I can use table, anything I can use. But that paragraph, div and table is going to be render based upon the condition. If flag value would be true, it will render that para. If flag value is false, it will not render that para here. So this is the razor syntax we have here. Let me show you how it is visible to you in the razor syntax. So on the index.cshtml, if you will go there, I can mention the things. So here this is the code here. Let's see here. I'm defining my name. I'm passing my name. Let's say Shailendra. If you want to access this name within a para, I can access like this way name. If you want to use here a for loop, I can use here a for loop. Let's say I'm just using a for loop for here. Let's say I equal to 1 and I smaller than 1. And here I can mention here a paragraph for showing whether the number is odd or even. So I'm just mentioning, let's say if I modulus 2 equal to 0, it would be here, let's say even number, else it would be here odd number. That is, let's say even number. And here I can mention here, let's say odd number. That is here, let's say odd number. This way I can mention. And if you will see here I have not started the if with the @ prefix. The reason is here it is already within the scope of the for statement. But here the for statement I have started using @ because this one I'm writing on the directly on the HTML page. But if I wrap this if else within a div tag, so in that case we have to start this if using the @. If I'm wrapping it within the div, then it will start from @. Otherwise it will not work. If you will see here, you will get the simple if else as it is as a text. It's not a C# code now. Until you will not start it @ as a prefix. So I'm running the code, so please wait. So if you will see here, I'm getting here if else as it is because it says simple text. But if I will put here @, now I will get only even and odd. So let's reload the page here. I'm getting here even or odd. If you want to show the number as well. So for even I can show the number. So it is here, let's say @I for even, @I for the odd here. I'm just mentioning here. Reload the page. You will see I'm getting here odd and even number as well. And if you will look into the source code, in the source code you will get only HTML markup because here all the things are going to be processed on the server side. It's not just like Angular, because Angular is going to be processed on the client side. It's going to be processed on the server side. So this is about the reserve engine syntax here, which we will use in our ASP.NET Core application here.